Good evening, everyone. Today is December 2nd, and welcome to the Middleton Common Council. I'm calling to order the regular council meeting, requesting assistance on roll call.
Alder Schiffer,
Here.
Alder Madden,
Here.
Alder Kalish,
Here.
Mayor Kuhn,
Here.
Alder Nelson,
Here.
Alder Myers,
Present.
Alder Haniro,
Here.
Alder Lorman,
Here.
Alder Crow.
Here.
All right, moving on to public comments. I have two here. The first one will be Stephen Small. If you would, please just repeat your name and give us your address, and you'll have 3 minutes.
Sure. Yeah, I'm Steve Small, live at 3320 Glacier Ridge Road. I'm glad to have the opportunity to speak tonight. I'm a volunteer driver for Middleton's Meals on Wheels program. I'm also a member of the Commission on Aging. And I just wanted to share with you why the Meals on Wheels program run through the senior center here means so much to me and so much to the seniors that we serve with it. We provide about 35 to 40 meals a week, 5 days a week, every day during the week. Each meal is really a lifeline to someone who depends on it, not just for the nutrition, but for the vital connection and the reassurance that it provides. Now, I have a bit of a reputation. I'm usually the last guy back. And I used to, when I first started, Jackie Kalal, who's the director of the program, runs the program, used to give me phone calls and wondered what happened to me. Did I get lost? What did I break down? But the reason that I was the last guy back was really simple. I loved visiting with these older folks, although I guess I'm becoming one myself. But anyway, but I also learned very quickly that these people love visiting with me and that it was really important to have somebody come every day to see them. For many of these seniors, I might be the only person that they talk to during the day or one of the other drivers on another day. Then they really do appreciate somebody coming in, taking a few minutes to see how they're doing, checking up on them. You know, part of what I do often is I often will do small chores for people. Maybe I change a light bulb, carry out the garbage, fix a stuck drawer, things that we might find to be really pretty simple, but for older folks, it can become difficult. And I should add, I've met some really wonderful people over the years. There's also been times when I've had concerns about someone. Maybe they seemed a little unwell, a little out of sorts. And when that happens, I would usually call in or go back and talk to one of the caseworkers at the senior centers who will follow up. And those quick check-ins have really helped in some cases. They've helped catch a health issue before it really got out of hand. And it was also a reminder that we do more than just deliver meals. We look out for people. Meals on Wheels is essential for seniors who live alone, who no longer drive, who maybe because of health conditions have difficulty preparing their own meals. And a warm, healthy meal delivered by a familiar face offers comfort, friendship, and sometimes even a helping hand. This program helps people stay safely in their homes where they want to be, preventing hospital visits or maybe prematurely having to enter some kind of senior living situation. I've seen how powerful this program can be over the last 5 years that I've been a volunteer here. And I would add that none of it could be possible without I think there are about 50 or 60 volunteers, both delivering and helping out in the kitchen. And as Middleton's population begins to age, I think the Meals on Wheels program will become even more vital, perhaps grow some. And the program, I would add, just really supports the dignity, the safety, and the well-being of the older folks in our community who actually helped to shape it and perhaps even raise some of you as well. I just would end by just saying I hope I've helped you sort of recognize one of the important services that the Madison Senior Center provides to the seniors in our community. And thank you for the time.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Next up is Katrina Vellen.
This is called War Against Puerto Rico. If you want to learn anything about Puerto Rico, you're Commonwealth of the United States or U.S. citizens.
Katrina, if you will,
Oh, God.
use the microphone because then it gets recorded.
I'm a little new to this, sorry.
You're fine. Thank you.
I left some materials over there for people if you want to learn about racial inequalities and injustices. Also, there's this book called War Against Puerto Ricans. If many don't know or know, we are a U.S. Commonwealth. We're still colonized by the Americas. And so if you want to know more about us, there you go. Also, I have another good book. I do book talks on TikTok. Hi, TikTok family. This is called Black Ass I Can't Say, but it's a better version of American real history if you need to learn about that.
Okay.
Also, I just came back from
We got
North Carolina. I was visiting plantations that still exist. I love watching museums and going to different historical sites. I think it's important. I take my 10-year-old son so that we don't erase history and we actually re-educate Americans with the real history that happened in America. I am Afro-Latina and I'm Taino. That means I am from African descent. I am Spaniard descent because of my colonizers. So yo hablo español para la gente que no habla inglés. Yo lo puedo hablar los dos idiomas muy bien. Also, I am indigenous, which means I am Taino. That's the indigenous people, the Arawakans, the first people that Columbus met, discovered. Anyways, back to this. I used to work for the VA. I'm a proud daughter of a veteran. My father was drafted from the Vietnam War in Puerto Rico when he was 18, served 2 tours in Vietnam. I didn't serve because I had my daughter at 16 at Middleton High School. Wonderful, right? I went to MASH because the high school told me I wouldn't amount to anything. Whoever's there that remembers me, I'm doing great now. I'm doing that because, and there's my graduation. My daughter was 2 when I graduated high school. I went on to get my license in cosmetology, my 2-year degree in human services, and my yearbook. And I also became a federal employee for the veterans, and that was my way of serving this country, okay? I couldn't serve physically, but I served my veterans, and I will go on to the reason why I'm a little upset. On November 18th, 2025, Caroline Carly R. Firio. When you do 2 L's, yo. My name is Veillon. All right, it's French. I didn't ask for that. I know American history. My name is Caterina Judy Veillon Sanabria. When I came to this country, people couldn't say my name. So it was Catherine, then Kathy, and now Kat at this point. I reclaimed myself. I am upset that we had found that there was a missing veteran and then found by Lakeview Park, by my house, where they have the beautiful flags to proudly tell our veterans we love them. Caroline is her name. Please don't forget, she was 27 years old. I've had enough. She was Latina. She served this country. I said it when I was here last time. Veterans are gonna die. That is my example. I asked for more lighting. I asked for better Wi-Fi so I can call 911. I've had drop calls when I call you. What are we doing with our budget? I know I don't own and pay property taxes, but I pay rent. And I pay my restaurant servers and I tip. And I pay for that federal taxes for the roads and my teachers. I'm sick of it. Also, whoever rolls their eyes, I don't care anymore. Because guess what? I'm tired of racial profiling police officers. I really am. I have the tape. The mayor has it. My lawyers have it. This was their statement. Ms. Vellon, on October 16, 2025, you witnessed a traffic stop on Lakeview Boulevard. You since filed a complaint regarding this traffic stop, claiming the officer involved pulled over your neighbor due to racial profiling. I have investigated this complaint. I read your complaint, interviewed the official officer, read the case report, reviewed the DOT records, reviewed the body camera, video, squad camera. After reviewing all information available to me, I don't believe there was any disparate, D-I-S-P-A-R-A-T-E treatment. After considering the totality of the circumstances, I have concluded that none of the behaviors of the officers involved were in violation of department policy and procedure. That's fine, but I'm glad I filed a complaint. I'm glad it's in their file. I need to know how many BIPOC people are in your administration. When I look at my common council, I see no representation that looks like me. That upsets me. If we're gonna be good neighbors, we should care about every fucking body. Everybody. the veterans, the elderly, people who look like me, the LGBTQIA. And I'm part of that, I'm the big Q, okay? And when I'm gonna drop, I know it's time to go. Thank you for giving me my time. I will be here. And I promise if there's a seat open, I will be running. I have 300 signatures on my block alone. And Dot, hi Dot, my elderly friend, she needs a bodega by her house because there's nothing by her grocery store in Lake Brenner. She wants free Wi-Fi and I'll talk to her. Have a good day.
Thank you. Katerina, I just want to confirm your address is 6313 Lakeview Boulevard, number 24.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, thank you. And by the way, your rent includes taxes.
Oh, thank you. You know, people tell me apparently that doesn't matter, but it does. Oh, and Alexander Company has been fixing my stuff. Sorry, Alexander Company, you deserve credit. That's it.
Anyone else would like to speak tonight? All right. Go ahead.
All right. I do, thank you. I wanted to take time to recognize a past councilman, but I do want to, before I start that, I do want to note that that veteran did pass away 2 weeks ago, and that has been weighing heavy on my mind, so may we do better and do more. But for now, I want to take a moment of silence, remembering former alder and community servant Jim Wexler. We do plan to do a proclamation at the next one, but this was very recent, so. Our community lost someone truly special late Sunday evening. Former alder Jim Wexler, who served the city of Middleton for more than 27 years, passed away. Jim was well known across the city and deeply loved. Jim dedicated his life to public service. He spent nearly 3 decades on the Middleton Common Council, including 10 years as council president, and served on countless committees that shaped the Middleton we know today. His thoughtful leadership, steady presence, and commitment to doing what was right made a lasting difference. But Jim's service extended far beyond his years in elected office. Many in our community also knew him through his work at the Middleton Senior Center, as our friend was talking recently about, where he greeted residents with warmth and kindness for nearly 9 years. He also served as a longtime crossing guard and was well loved, and an usher at local sports and community events, always showing up with a friendly word and a welcoming smile. Jim touched lives everywhere he went. His dedication, generosity, and love for Middleton will be remembered for years to come. We extend our deepest condolences to his family, his friends, his colleagues, and to everyone in our community feeling this loss. So thank you for letting me speak to Jim's passing. Moving on to proclamations, I'm going to ask the police chief to come forward. The proclamation honoring Police Sergeant Dave Haslow surfaced to the city of Middleton.
Good evening, everyone. It's my distinct honor and pleasure to read this proclamation of a truly great individual, and we're very proud of Dave. So whereas Sergeant Dave Haslow has announced his retirement as a police sergeant with the Middleton Police Department after serving since December 10th, 1997, 28 years of public service to the city of Middleton as a sworn police officer. And whereas Sergeant Haslow started his law enforcement career in 1993 as a part-time officer of the Loyal Police Department and a reserve deputy for the Clark County Sheriff's Office, and also served as a police officer for the village of Shorewood Hills for a total of 32 years of combined law enforcement service. And whereas Sergeant Haslow has served in many roles, including patrol officer, field training officer, evidence technician, acting shift commander, property and evidence coordinator, Citizens Academy coordinator, union president, detective, and sergeant. And whereas Sergeant Haslow has received numerous awards, commendations, and other department recognition which he received during his distinguished career, including an Exceptional Service Award for his response during the Paradigm active shooter incident in 2018. And whereas Sergeant Haslow received high praise for being an integral part of numerous high-profile incidents and investigations, including cases of homicide, shots fired, armed robbery, and other cases. And whereas Sergeant Haslow's beaming smile and sense of humor often lightens the mood and uplifts those around him. And whereas Sergeant Haslow has served our neighbors in the city of Middleton with distinction, including working weekends, holidays, and the dreaded graveyard shift. And whereas Sergeant Haslow has demonstrated a high level of service during his tenure with the city, he will be missed with both personally and professionally by the police department and city staff.
And now therefore, I, Emily Kuhn, Mayor of the City of Middleton, on behalf of the City Council and residents of Middleton, do hereby proclaim, honor, and commend Sergeant Dave Haslow for his distinguished career of public service to the city and wish him a pleasant, healthy, and prosperous retirement. This proclamation was adopted at a regular meeting of the Middleton Common Council on the second day of December, 2025. Is there a motion?
Schaefer will move.
Is there a second?
Myers will second.
Any comments? Hearing none, all those in favor of approving the proclamation, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes unanimously.
Let's do that. Congratulations.
Okay, moving on to the presentation by Robert Burke of the Middleton Area Development Corporation. You can come to the front.
Hello, Common Council and city staff. I am Robert Burke. I guess I can tell you, I live at 7418 Voss Parkway, Middleton, Wisconsin. And I have been on MADC for a number of years, actually since I was started on council something like 9 years ago now. So first of all, MADC. What is MADC? Few of you may not be all that familiar. It's the Middleton Area Development Corporation. We are an independent organization that was started in 1969. Started out as a committee of the city, but kind of separated from the city because of laws that, you know, the city obviously has to work under open records laws. And what we do is we loan money to people. Doesn't really go well together. So we kind of separated out and but like to consider ourselves a close partner, hopefully still, of the city of Middleton. MADC continues to provide value to the city of Middleton by offering loans to Middleton area businesses to help them be successful. We do this mostly quietly and don't advertise who we give money out to. But I can say in generalities, we have assisted in providing funding for several affordable housing projects in the community. And we helped to launch Middleton's first Hispanic grocery store.
Yes.
Another example, CXC, or the Central Cross Country Skiing Foundation. We provided some funding for that project as well. It's kind of near and dear to my heart because I can barely stand on skis, but my father-in-law has been skiing since ever since I've known him, and he's, I think, 87 now. So we look forward to assisting and supporting both the city of Middleton and CXC to make CXC Outdoor Community Center a great success. Other little points, we are actually the owner of the terminal building at the airport. When the city couldn't afford to put that big chunk of change down, that's one of the things we did. So we're still kind of the landlords of that. And we look forward to continuing to work with the city of Middleton as things come up and to help in any way we can there. And then this is just a recap. Some of you remember me from actually a year and a half ago, probably now, the MERL program. The Middleton Economic Relief Loan Program, which was done during the pandemic. As a reminder, the city of Middleton and MADC each put in $300,000 for a total of $600,000 to help approximately 25 Middleton-based businesses during the pandemic. Keep their doors open, keep going strong. As of July 16, 2024, the city of Middleton was paid back in full, well before all the loans were fully paid back. I wanted to come here and say they're all pretty much paid back now. MADC continued to manage the outstanding MERL loans up until just the last month or two. And as of today, MADC has fully closed the MERL program with almost all loans paid in full, and any losses, will be just absorbed by us. MADC considers this program to have been a great success, and it really showcases the benefit of the way we can work together. And I hope there will be more opportunities in the future to do just that. We always look forward to having somebody from the city come and talk to us and tell us what are the needs of the city, and we're happy to help wherever we can. So that's really it. Just wanted to say I'm Robert Burke, and if there's ever any questions, because I know MADC kind of works quietly, feel free to reach out to me. I'm the vice president right now of the group. Thank you so much for your continued support for the Middleton Area Development Corporation, and we will continue to work with you as closely as we can going forward. Thank you so much for everything that you guys do. Appreciate it.
You have to stay, for a whole minute, maybe two. First of all, thank you. That was a wonderful report. I want to make sure that you know the first Mercado
Yes.
it was highlighted to Representative Joers recently, and he was excited to hear about that. And I did share that MADC helped with some coaching and getting them started, as some other small businesses have also received that. So you might hear some things in the forthcoming as they want to learn more. And because it's a bodega, as it was discussed before, that was something we had talked about, is how do you multiply this across, the city or a metro area. So MADC will do their own thing, but it was something I brought forward to Representative Joer's office, because there is a demand in the city for those types of things. So I'm very excited that your organization was supportive of that.
Absolutely.
And for those on council, Alder Nelson probably remembers this. The partnership that we had with the MERL program was highlighted at the state level as a way, like a mechanism when we had that crisis, because small businesses could not access that money until the federal money came through. And the mechanism that we used working with MADC ended up becoming a model for other communities. And so I know that they are a very humble group, and they don't tell all of the things, but it was really exciting to see them be seen a few years ago as this was showcased as a way forward. So if you're not aware of that, you can ask retired Alder Burke.
Alder Burke.
Yes, thank you, Alder Burke, forever. And he can tell you more about it, but it's a great backstory, and we're really grateful for all that you do. Does anybody have any comments? Because you might have had a different experience with MADC than those two. Go ahead.
I look forward to reaching out to you, Alder Burke.
Past Alder Burke.
When Alder Haniro and I are working together in workforce housing and CDA.
Yeah.
And with the TID 3 closing, we're going to have a chunk of money for affordable housing projects. And I think this would be a great way to stretch those dollars and have some sort of matching program with you, or just to talk to you about the
Yeah,
possibilities. Look
we would
forward to
love
that.
to have, be part of that conversation.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
excellent. Great.
Alder Myers?
So I'm just silly and new. I don't have your contact information immediately offhand. So is there a great email address that you would be willing to share where you're accessible at
Or
the
could you,
MADC?
I'm sorry, didn't mean to overspeak, but could you maybe send it to Brian
Yeah.
to
Yeah.
share to the group, perhaps?
I was going to say, Brian has ways to contact me for certain. The email I use is my daytime work email, and I'm happy to share that with you privately.
Okay,
But
that's fair.
I don't have other emails that I really use, so it's hard for me to kind of see other things. So, but I would welcome you reaching out to me, and I could reach out to you to give you a way to contact me.
Great. District 5 at City of Middleton.
Perfect.
He might know this address,
Oh,
just
I'm-
change a number. Very good.
Just change the 2 to 5.
Yeah, exactly. Can do.
Well, very good. Glad that you're reaching out and that you could share that. If you guys have future questions, as he said, please reach out to them. They have always been enlightening as I've talked with them, so much appreciated.
And thank you so much.
Have a good night. Up next is a presentation by restoration ecologist Evelyn Williams of Adaptive Restoration LLC on the John C. Bach units of the Pheasant Branch Conservancy and Graber Pond Conservancy Management Plans.
Hi, I'm Kevin Short, Assistant Director with Parks and Rec for Field Services, and I just wanted to introduce Evelyn. Evelyn's a restoration ecologist with Adaptive Restoration and the author of the 2 plans that are on your agenda for approval tonight by resolution, the the management plan for the John C. Bach units of Pheasant Branch Conservancy and the Graber Pond Conservancy master plan or management plan. So thank you, Evelyn.
Right. Hello, I'm Evelyn Williams. I'm one of the restoration ecologists with Adaptive Restoration. And as Kevin noted, I'm one of the authors, the main author for these 2 plans. Should note that I also have my colleagues, Mike Keeley and Dave Laufenberg, who contributed a lot to both of these plans. And of course, Kevin as well was a great asset. We did a lot of back and forth on these plans as well. So I just put a very short presentation together just to highlight some of the things that are in these plans. This is a nice opportunity to build off the Conservancy Lands Plan that was recently adopted this spring. And so we can go ahead and go to the next slide. So the first one I'll talk about is the Graber Pond Conservancy. Just so you know, we've got about 34 acres or so in this area that we did for the plan. If you haven't read that Conservancy Lands Plan recently, just a reminder that we have this new thing that we're calling the native vegetation management areas. These are areas that have been planted to native species in the past, but haven't necessarily been maintained as such. But we want to kind of bring them back to the city's attention and make sure that we start doing some management there as well, along with the sort of main conservancies. This is a photo from off of the Savannah area. So then this is just a map of where we are. One interesting thing is that this aerial photo is from 2024, and already a lot has changed around Graber Pond. So you can see all those plat lines for the new developments on the sides of Graber. And one of the main points that I'll reiterate again is just that these developments are really going to change not only how the conservancy is used, but also the ecology and also the hydrology of this conservancy. We developed 4 goals as part of this plan, sort of things to help city staff manage priorities and figure out what steps to take when managing this area. 4 broad areas, so nature, restoring that habitat that we've got in the conservancies. We have this wonderful prairie pothole pond. We've got wet prairie. We've got some music prairie, as well as oak savanna. And we also want to make sure that these conservancy areas are connected to the rest of the conservancies, both for sort of like wildlife habitat, and then later on we'll talk about the recreation side of things as well. So there we go. Number 2, recreation, providing a safe place for outdoor passive recreation and access for nature. By again, making those corridors and making those connections, not just for wildlife, but for humans as well between the different conservancies. Education, offering an opportunity for educational opportunities. And finally, a big one, which is water, which is really having that goal of collaborating with the adjacent developers, residents, and regulatory agencies to make sure that we've got storm management systems that mitigate things like flooding and the spread of invasive species downstream, and also support native habitat and wildlife. So 3 main points to come away with. Those new developments around Graber Pond are going to change the feel of the conservancy. Our desired future condition is a natural habitat with diverse native species, no major invasive species present that is connected ecologically and recreationally to the conservancies, and making sure that the goals of the plan, realizing that the goals of the plan will require support of the city and the volunteers and close cooperation between the conservancy, land staff, and also the Public Works Department because of the importance of this as a storm management area. I can pause here if there are any questions about the Graber Pond plan.
Alder Van Ayer.
So Graber Pond Conservancy is in my district, and I really appreciate, Evelyn, all the work that you did on this management plan, including meeting with residents. I'm really pleased that our budget, our capital budget for 2026 will include $40,000 in funding earmarked for restoration and management of Graber Pond Conservancy. That's almost, but not quite the amount recommended in the plan, but it's almost there. And I really look forward to working with you and the city and volunteers to help with the restoration efforts.
Alder Schaefer?
A trivial question.
Yeah.
I know what a prairie pothole is every time I step in one. Pothole is a larger what does it mean?
Yeah, so in this case, it's a remnant left over from the glaciers.
Okay.
And it basically means it's no natural inlet or outlet into the pond. So the only way we're getting any water into the pond is precipitation. And then, well, there is some groundwater, but, and then also the only way that water is getting out is normally by evaporation or with a major flooding event.
They're in the potholes.
Yes, yeah.
Alder Kalish?
Yeah, thanks a lot for all your work on this. And I've got a passion for the environment in the city of Middleton. And so, yeah, this is great work by everybody. And I'll have the same question for Pheasant Ranch, but what was the main public comment that you had about Graber? What's their biggest concern? What's their biggest issue addressed in the next 10 years for this plan? What's that issue?
Yeah, I think for current residents, it was concern about how developments are going to change, again, that feel of the conservancy, how the increased amount of perhaps runoff is going to change water levels in the pond, how traffic is going to change with more people using the conservancies. So I think those are the main concerns. I think that the residents also welcome the fact that more people will know about Graber, and maybe we'll have more interest in volunteering as well, which could be a real boon. But I would say that just the change is something that's on a lot of residents' mind in that area. All right, and then so I'll go on to quickly the Bach plan as well. So a similar size conservancy, this one's around 43 acres or so. Note that we've got what we're calling units here. This is not a conservancy on its own. It used to be called kind of its own conservancy, but it's really just part of the larger Pheasant Branch Conservancy. When it was first established, it was a community forest. And so that's kind of what giving us this coherence about these Bach units. We also expanded the plans a little bit to include some new areas that are part of new restorations that we're really excited about. So this is a just general map. We had a bunch of different units. And one thing I'll just note is that the last plan written for this area was in 2009, before any real major restoration had taken place. So there's just been a large, wonderful amount of change that has gone on in these units since that 2009 report. We have very similar goals here, just with slightly different perspectives. So same thing with the native habitat, maintaining that variety of native species and decreasing invasive species. I will say that the Bach units are kind of in what we might call better shape than some of the parts of Graber Pond, just less cover overall of invasive species. Where in Graber Pond, we're dealing with things like reed canary grass and cattails that pose a real challenge. Partnerships in this case are really something that we need to maintain as part of these units. Cooperation because it's part of the Conservancy is not just owned by the city, but then we need to work with places like people like the Friends of Pheasant Branch, Dane County Parks, and the Wisconsin DNR. Third is education as well, providing educational opportunities. And then for recreation, again, providing those opportunities for passive recreation with regards to public safety. And the 3 takeaways from this plan that, first of all, those units have undergone a lot of change since 2009, resulting in valuable native prairie and savanna habitat. Our desired future condition includes continued maintenance to increase native species diversity and to remove invasive species, and that partnerships with Friends of Pheasant Branch and that Bach Community Garden are going to be really important for realizing the goals. All right, any questions on this plan?
Yeah, Evelyn, just want to thank you, because I've worked with you on the Conservancy and Lands and appreciate the work that's been done to these. I've lived within walking distance of this specific unit for the past 20 years and have seen what everybody's done and the work with it. A couple of years ago, I was out walking one nice fall day, and Kylie was literally out there up to her, Kylie's not real tall, so she was probably out there up to her chest harvesting seeds in the Bach units. So, and I've really enjoyed seeing now it develop, because it was just a hay field, and actually seeing it, and we even had a blanding turtle up on the path in the spring. Saw her digging and putting her eggs in a nest. So it's pretty special. Thank you.
Well, that's wonderful. And all the things that you were sharing, we really appreciate it. Did you need anything from us at this time?
I think that's later in the agenda.
Okay,
So, all right.
that was
Thank
my
you very
thought,
much.
but I just want to make sure. Anybody else have any questions or comments? Great. No, you can ask questions. Well, go sit down. She might have a question for you. Thank you. All right, moving on to the approval of consent agenda as recommended to council by committee, commission, board. Is there a motion?
On behalf of finance personnel, I'd like to approve the consent agenda.
Okay, is there a second?
Paniro will second.
Any comments? Hearing none, all those in favor of approving the consent agenda, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes unanimously. Moving on to ordinances, first reading.
This is an arrow. I move to suspend the rules.
Madden will second.
Any comments? Hearing none, all those in favor of approving suspending the rules on the ordinance first reading, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes unanimously. Moving back to the ordinance to amend section 9.0510D1A and B relating to quarterly service charges sewer rates. Is there a motion?
This is Madden, also move.
Myers second.
Any comments? Hearing none, all those in favor of approving ordinance to amend section 9.0510D1A and B relating to quarterly service charges, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes unanimously. Moving on to resolutions, Resolution 2025-55, adopting the 2025 management plan for the John C. Bach units of Pheasant Branch Conservancy. Is there a motion?
Sure. On behalf of Conservancy and Lands and Finance and Personnel, I'd like to make a motion for Resolution 2025-55, adopting the 2025 management plan for the John C. Bach units of Pheasant Branch Conservancy.
Is there a second?
Nelson will second.
Any comments? Hearing none, all those in favor of approving Resolution 2025-55, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes unanimously. Moving on to Resolution 2025-56, adopting the 2025 Graber Pond Conservancy Management Plan. Is there a motion?
This is Nairo. I move to approve resolution 2025-56.
Is there a second?
Thorman will second.
Any comments? Hearing none, all those in favor of approving Resolution 2025-56, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes unanimously. Moving on to discussions, updates on committees, commissions, and boards. Any updates? Alder Haniro?
I just have two. One, the Dane County Cities and Villages Association, the membership meeting will take place Wednesday, January 7th at noon. It's virtual, so people can join on Zoom maybe during their lunch hour. And I'm mentioning it now because I assume we'll be here in 2 weeks, but you never know. Also, the Finance and Personnel Committee did hear a presentation from Bill Burns about strategies for making it affordable for us to have a community campus project. And that brought up a question in my mind of when will we have a committee of the whole meeting to continue the discussion that we've started. I wonder if the members would consider trying to build into future council meetings a half an hour of committee of the whole meeting at the start. I know Sun Prairie does that routinely. But I feel like we've lost, even with the work that's going on with the informational meetings, I feel like as a council, we don't have that same forward momentum that we were developing. So I just raised that as a potential structure for our future meetings until we nail down the plans.
As president and the person who can call a committee of the whole, I will absolutely work with Brian on that.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Any other committee updates? Alder Myers?
So, as many of you are aware, the Landmarks Commission received grant funding for a historic survey in the city of Middleton. We have started to get results back on that survey for districts which are potentially eligible for inclusion in the National Register of Historic Places. Tomorrow night, there is going to be an information session for the potentially eligible district of North Sax Woods, Pheasant Hills. There are quite a few properties in that district, so the Landmarks Commission decided to prioritize that over a smaller, more remote district due to a lack of staff time to pursue both grants simultaneously. So just an update, it will be a hybrid meeting here in council chambers and remotely beginning at 6:15 p.m. And Katie, I think that's in your district.
It's mine and also District 4 with Alder Kalish.
Alder Kalish, yeah.
Great, great. Any other committee updates? Oh, I'm sorry, go ahead.
I just want to go back to community campus and remind people that this coming Monday, the 8th, I believe it's 5:30 to 6:30, we're going to have another information meeting here at City Hall regarding the community campus project. Invite any of your constituents to come for the information. Thank you.
Sounds great.
And maybe just to add on to that for 1 minute, just to clarify for people, the presentation that will be provided on the 8th is going to be pretty similar in scope and scale to the one that was given a couple weeks ago, but people are free to come to all or as many of the presentations that they like. But I just want to clarify for people, there's not necessarily a whole new presentation from the one that was given before.
Much appreciated. I know when we did a series on a different topic. Years ago, people thought they had to go to all of them. So sometimes they do show up and then are surprised it's a restart. So I appreciate that clarification, Brian. All right, and with that, Alder Lerman.
Yeah, I just wanted to share and update some information that'll be presented at the Airport Commission meeting this month. Information I've been trying to get a hold of and gather for a while. It'll just be part of the chair's report. It's not a discussion item or anything for decision like that. So our airport has provided no less than 3,783 Young Eagle flights. These are the flights to youth in the community and in the area. I did just some rough numbers, kind of messing around, just from my own experience. A flight can be about 3/10 of an hour, just take off, landing, come around, and figure a cost of anywhere from $12 to $15 an hour in a small airplane. So, at very minimum, you're talking about a contribution, from the local aviation community at minimum of, say, $150,000. And what they do with that time is there's a foundation that credits all that time back into a fund. And locally, we have doled out in excess of $130,000 in scholarships. And the students, and they're high school kids, just local kids that have taken flight lessons, right here. So, and EAA keeps track of this stuff because it's very much central to their organization. And, these young people go on to obviously become commercial pilots. Those are the things you think of the most common, or they, go into the military. But there are a lot of other areas people really don't realize, and that most air traffic controllers all have a private pilot certificate. So they may start out and just learn how to fly an airplane and say, okay, I'm done now, move on to do something else. And sadly, of course, in the news, UPS and FedEx types of cargo pilots, all these types of folks. One of the local volunteers at the airport in this organization is a UPS pilot. And other careers in what are called airframe and power systems, basically repairing airplanes. And you recently noted in the news, globally, all the Airbuses were grounded. It was 7,000 or 6,000 airplanes. All those had to have a software update. Again, so that requires someone, who has a foundational training in this background. So really, these types of experiences lead to, these kids pursuing higher education in STEM, especially. So, I've been doing this now for 20 years, and I can't even keep track of the number of kids that I've done this for and who've come up to me and who are now career something. And so, yeah.
Wonderful. All wonderful. Really love it when we invest in that next generation. So
Yeah, exactly.
very good. All right. And with that, I'm going to go ahead and adjourn. I hope everyone has a great night.